Bank accounts are going to be impacted as Biden is preparing to sign new legislation that has been presented past the House and the Senate to be signed into law to state the official end of the pandemic. A lot of Democrats thought he was going to be vetoing it. Turns out they're saying he's prepared to sign. Now, what does this mean for people's bank accounts? Well, I'm going to be covering all the details for you as we're going to be covering the COVID money that is available from previous stimulus packages that was meant to go out to help people throughout the course of this pandemic. I'm going to get into each and every single provision and the details for you so you can know how this is going to be directly impacting you as we transition from their saying pandemic to epidemic, as we're going to be lowering the degree of which this is impacting our world. Now, I'm going to give you all the details. And yes, we are live. Let me know if you can hear me and see me okay in the comments. I see we got about 50 people on this morning. Thank you for joining me for a early live. But I wanted to make sure that I could get you guys the latest details coming out. I see we've got Big Four, Karen, Stacy, Carolyn, Canova. They're saying that they can hear me okay. Hey, Tank, how's it going? Awesome. Okay, good. So I'm going to cover the details for you guys. And I'm going to have this linked in the description below. This article came out from the Associated Press yesterday, and it was all the information coming out that they're saying that this is officially going to be signed into law, that they're going to state that the emergency declaration is going to come to an end, and this will be impacting people's bank accounts across the board. I'm going to cover all the provisions for the stimulus for you guys. So Biden won't veto a Republican-led bill that is ending COVID-19's emergency. And do me a favor before we dive in, if you appreciate the updates, smash the like button for me. Just takes a second, helps out a ton, and subscribe to stay up to date. I'll let you know everything going on. So this is huge news because this is going to be impacting all the provisions across the board. Many of them are going to carry over past the state of emergency declaration. I'm going to cover that for you here in just a little bit. Now, let's get into this article so you can hear the latest that's coming out on this. President Joe Biden won't veto a Republican-led measure to end the national COVID-19 emergency, despite having expressed strong objections against it earlier this year, ensuring that the bill is on an easy path to becoming law. So this is confusing to a lot of people because they had heard him say, no, we still need this. We still need a state of emergency. We still need these benefits and these provisions to carry on. And they're saying now he's kind of flipping his stance. And there's actually a lot of Democrats in Congress that are very upset with his recent statement that he's prepared to sign this. It marks the second time in the new Congress that the Biden administration has signaled opposition to a Republican measure, rallying most of the Democrats in Congress to vote against it, only to soften their stance and let the legislation eventually become law. Now, just weeks ago, Biden stunned many fellow Democrats when he declined to veto a Republican-led bill to upend a new criminal code for the District of Columbia that he and others in the president's party opposed, allowing the GOP's tough-on-crime push into the local government to become law. So they're saying this is actually the second time that he's taken a softer stance and kind of leaned into the Republican perspective. Republicans celebrated the turn of events Wednesday as a sign of their newfound influence in a divided Washington, while Democrats quietly complain that the Biden administration has shifted the view. Now, but the White House has stood firm, and the Senate gave its final approval 68-23, sending this bill to Biden's desk. A White House official said that when the House Republicans were first preparing to vote on the bill at the start of the new year, that it would have lifted the national emergency declaration for the coronavirus pandemic in February. But now, it's much closer to the White House's own plan to wind down the COVID national emergency status by May 11th. So that is a very important date. Now, like I said, we're going to cover the stimulus provisions here in just a second. The president still strongly opposes the legislation, said the officials, who was granted anonymity to discuss this situation. But if this bill comes to Biden's desk, he will sign it, officials said. Ahead of voting, Senator Roger Marshall, one of the bill's main sponsors, said that he hoped that the rumors are true, that the president will finally sign this legislation. Now, the legislation is a simple one-line measure. Wouldn't it be nice if a lot of the provisions they proposed were just like this? It's a one-line measure that the national emergency declaration that was declared on March 13th of 2020 will hereby be terminated. So why couldn't they just simply do something like that for stimulus checks or child tax credits or Social Security increases? A one-liner, not these massive 1,000-page bills. Just send money to the people, help them out. That's what the money was intended for. It comes from one of the more conservative Republicans in the House, Representative Paul Gosar of Arizona, and draws on Republican-led opposition to mask mandates, lockdowns, and other precautions that were put in place to stem the spread of the virus during the pandemic. It was among the early bills that the new House GOP put forward at the start of the year. Now, at the time, the administration warned the proposal would cause chaos. More than 197 Democrats in the House voted against it. An abrupt end to the emergency declaration would create wide-ranging chaos and uncertainty throughout the healthcare system. That is just one aspect of it for states, for hospitals and doctors' offices, and most importantly, for tens of millions of Americans. The administration said in a formal statement of the administrative policy, in the days leading up to the House's vote, the Biden administration announced its own plans to wind down the emergency status on May 11th, 3 years after the virus breakout. The administration's announcement meant the federal pandemic response would be treated more as an epidemic threat to the public health that could be managed through agencies' normal authorities rather than pandemic status. Now, just a few weeks ago, Biden signed another Republican-led bill into law that would nullify the District of Columbia's revamp of its criminal codes. The administration had previously said that it opposed the bill. Now, on Wednesday of this week, Republicans on the House Oversight Committee voted to overturn a police reform package passed by the D.C. Council. So that means that what they're saying is that they have written this bill to end the pandemic, and Biden is saying that it has made it through the Senate, through the House. He's going to be prepared to sign it into law. Now, what does this mean for the American people? Well, it means that some bank accounts better get ready for what's going to be unfolding. Now, first off, one of the questions that we need to ask is, how much pandemic money is there? What are they going to be doing with it? Now, as you guys know, I've been checking on the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget for federal pandemic money for everybody in the nation. And we have had approved by law $6 trillion to go out. Of that, they have used $5.6 trillion, meaning there's $400 billion left over sitting. Now, I've been tracking this for well over a year now, and I've watched it go down, 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 down. And now we have $400 billion available for the American people, for Congress to distribute however they see fit. The question is, what is going to be happening to these funds when the state of emergency for the pandemic ends? What happens to the pandemic funds? Now, we will see. I will keep you guys up to date on that, but we need to keep an eye on this, because that means that between now and May 11th, there's going to be decisions made with this money. Something needs to happen with this, where they're going to be distributing it, allocating it, doing something with it. So I'm going to keep you up to date on this. Now, in addition to that, as you guys know, we've had 3 stimulus checks in the past. We've had child tax credits, unemployment enhancements. We've had all these things, and we're hearing that we're entering into some shaky ground right now with our economy and a potential recession. Well, I let you know that one of the first ones that we've seen go was the unemployment that came to an end, those enhancements for FPUC $300 per week boosts, PUA, PEUC. Now, just recently, just in the past month, we saw an end to the SNAP benefits, the emergency allotments. So it's going back to pre-pandemic SNAP. And if you go to the website, and I just did an update for you on this, I think it was yesterday, you go to the website and now it says, go see your local SNAP office. There are no more federal updates on SNAP. However, I also let you know that pandemic EBT, that there is still school programs going out for kids, and there's also summer programs just being approved. So they're still going to be providing that pandemic EBT payments to children. We're going to be seeing what happens to these funds now that a pandemic is coming to an end. What is going to be happening with a lot of this money? And also Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and man, there has been so much enhancements and things that have been approved throughout the course of the pandemic to make sure that people get the health care that they need. We saw that mentioned in the article. The question is, are a lot of people going to get stripped of these benefits? And they're saying yes, to brace yourselves. Now, I will give you guys more updates as they roll out on Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and I've been letting you know, in addition to that, that the solvency is a major issue. We still have the promises of enhancements that are yet to be fulfilled. People are still waiting to see what's happening with those. And I'm checking every single day, and I'm still seeing updates as there's potential bills coming out all the time for modifications to these. They're suggesting increasing the age requirements to collect full retirement, their modifications to taxation, changing of the calculation of the COLA that will go out from CPIW to CPIE. There's all kinds of stuff happening with Social Security right now. I will keep you guys up to date, and definitely, I think we will see. But this is going to be impacting a lot of people that collect these benefits, the end of the state of emergency, because the state of emergency has allowed them in that declaration to be able to tap into new funds, to provide those funds, and then distribute them for the purpose of the pandemic. And if the pandemic no longer exists, then what is the purpose of those funds? So we're going to see a shift. We're going to see what happens with this. I will keep you guys up to date. Now, in addition to that, also child tax credits. Now, these are one of the ones, Social Security and child tax credits have come to the forefront. They came to the forefront last year as we heard several members of Congress say we have bipartisan support for Social Security increases and for child tax credits and Social Security reform. And they said this will also carry into 2023, and 2023 would be the year of Social Security reform. And we're seeing a lot on that. Now, this is probably going to be one of the ones, these two, they're going to carry on past this state of emergency and pandemic. There's going to be a lot rolling out on this because they still need to address this regardless of the state of the pandemic. So child tax credits, Social Security increases, keep an eye on those. I think regardless of what unfolds, those are going to continue on. We're going to see what happens with those. I will keep you guys up to date because, like I said, regardless of pandemic or not, we are in trouble with Social Security. There is a solvency issue. The funds that are rolling in, they are not keeping up with the funds that are rolling out by a long shot. There needs to be a massive systemic reform to the entire Social Security system. And if Congress, sometimes it's very discouraging. I wish that they would, sometimes they just feels like the politicians are worthless. They've known about this for so long. They need to get to it. They need to do something. I apologize if I'm being a little bit too real. Let me know in the comments what you think. But sometimes it just is very frustrating with their lack of production when they're supposed to be serving the people, elected officials, and they provide absolutely nothing in the form of resolution for these issues that the American people have elected them to address. Just my thought. Sorry, that's my rant for the morning. I should have drank more coffee this morning, maybe. Now, in addition to that, one of the things a lot of people want, the most popular one of all, is the stimulus checks. People asking about those stimulus checks. Will there be a fourth federal level stimulus check to everybody in the nation for the state of the pandemic? To which it appears the answer is starting to go in the direction of there will not be a stimulus check for the pandemic, but we're hearing confirmation over and over and over there will be another stimulus check for the recession. So they're saying another one is going to be coming, and things are looking pretty bad. I just did a live for you the other day where they said things are getting so bad. Brace yourselves, because we were taking a look at the 10-year and the 3-month chart, and we actually have dipped so far down into recession territory. It has not been this bad in over 50 years, and it might even be longer. It's just how far my chart was. The 10-year and the 3-year dip was worse than anything we've seen in about 50 years. So they're starting to warn people, prepare yourselves, brace yourselves, because the economic crisis we're about to face, it could be something that we haven't seen in quite some time. So just wanted to let you guys know. And if that is the case, unfortunately, we're going to enter into this difficult economic situation. They're probably going to need to stimulate the economy. We could see more stimulus checks coming out. We've seen them before in the past, and we will see them again in the future, they're saying. As we deal with economic issues, they will send out more checks. The question is when, how much will they be for? Will it be for the pandemic? Doesn't look like it'll be to push us through the pandemic, as they're saying this is coming to an end, but it will be to help us out with economic issues, which in my personal opinion appears to be the biggest issue that we have right now. It appears that the pandemic devastated our economy. We tried to get back on track, and now things are a mess. And now it looks like we're going to be going into more economic issues, even possibly worse than we were experiencing with the pandemic. Now we will see. I don't want to, say one way or the other. I don't want to scare anybody. I just want to make sure that you're prepared, you know what's going on, and you have the information you need to make good decisions for you and your family. And I'll do my best to keep you guys up to date here on the channel. Now, so that's pretty much the news that has come out. President Joe Biden has said that the legislation coming out to announce the end of the pandemic that has passed through Congress, he is prepared to sign when it hits his desk. So they will put an end to it. And we covered for you guys the COVID money that's available. I also cover for you the SNAP, the PEBT, the Social Security, the Medicare, the Medicaid, the child tax credits, the stimulus checks, the unemployment. And we're going to be seeing what happens with these. Now, also unemployment, there's some information starting to come out on that as well. For those of you who have been wondering about what's going to be happening with that. Now, the unemployment, we're going to be seeing if they put in law new legislation, new regulations that will automatically trigger as we enter into these recessionary periods, or maybe even a depression from what we're hearing. As we enter into this, an enhancement of the unemployment, the extensions, and also extending it out, expanding the benefits to go out to those that are self-employed, because they said that those actually should be something that's put into place. We should not have to have Congress vote it into place and then have to vote it to get extended again, like we saw before. They said it was a big fat mess. People were hurting, needing money, and we were sitting there waiting for congressional leaders to finish their arguing. They're saying there should be automatic triggers put in place for unemployment benefits to get enhanced, expanded, and extended. That's PUA, PEUC, and the FPUC boost. So we will see. Unemployment, that's still potentially going to continue on. Stimulus checks, we'll see with the next recession. Social Security and child tax credits are in the forefront right now. And as far as the food benefits and other provisions, we will see. I will keep you guys up to date here on the channel. So that is the latest I wanted to bring to you this morning. Let me know if you got any questions. Maybe I can help answer. Since we're live, I always like being able to interact with you guys and answer any questions if we got any. Rose Bay says, got mine yesterday. What'd you get, Rose? What was it? Let me know what you got. It's time for a real fight, Americans, says Kimberly Britt. So, yep, there's going to be voting coming 2024. You can let your opinion be known at the voting booths. Anyone else get their SSI today? Gian says, yes. Oh, yes. So SSI, as I mentioned in my previous video, if you missed it, all the details of the calendar. And it was so crazy to me. I'm like, people need to watch the video. I gave the information, gave the calendar, cited the sources. People are saying, I didn't get my second payment. I'm like, you guys, watch the video. I give the exact date when you should get that SSI payment for April, a little bit early, March 31st, today. So if you're on SSI, not retirement, not disability, not all these other ones, SSI specifically, that particular benefit that you get from Social Security, you normally get your benefits on the 1st. If you don't get your benefits on the 1st, then it doesn't apply to you. That means you get a different form of Social Security. But if you collect SSI typically on the 1st of every month, you should have gotten that second payment today. And I see a lot of people saying, yes, I got it. So I think that goes to show that, yes, the sources I provide are accurate. They're directly from the Social Security Administration. The information I'm providing to you guys is always cited in the description. I put all my sources and it is accurate. It is coming. So a lot of people just, I think, sometimes need to watch the videos to get clarity. They're confused. They assume things. Just hop on, watch the video. So yeah, let me see if there's any other questions I can help out with. What's the deal with the bank accounts, says Boondogger. So Boondogger, you can go back and watch this video. This will be impacting your bank accounts with the stimulus provisions that are tied directly to the pandemic and the distributions and the funding. Thank you for the information. May God bless you all, says The Wave. You too, The Wave. Glad to have you on with us this morning. I get mine on the 3rd, says Teresa. All right, Teresa. So that means that that particular update for the SSI, that is not applicable to you. That is for those that collect SSI payments. And also some receive it on the 3rd. I think it is if you started collecting before 1997, or maybe you collect multiple benefits. I didn't get one either of them, says Dana Pierce. So Dana, if you didn't get it, you probably collect retirement or disability. SSI, though, there are people telling me they are getting that SSI payment early. The second one in March, which is today, which is the April one, early. Thank you for getting this important news to us. So I agree with you that those who are hired to take care of us, we the people, but they seem to be taking care of themselves. Bless you, Ken. I couldn't agree with you more. I felt the rant coming on. I had to stop myself. Just sometimes politicians seem like they are worthless. Just like, what were you elected for? I don't know. I didn't get anything, says Gian. Gian, so yeah, Gian, I think I mentioned if you collect SSI, then if you get your benefits on the 1st, you're not going to get it on the 1st tomorrow. You will receive it today. Lori says she got hers today. Yes. A lot of people letting me know they're getting it early. SSI is when you've been disabled and ain't that enough work history, says Kimberly. So Kimberly, no, actually there's different ones. There's retirement, There's SSI, supplemental security income. And then if you're disabled, that's SSDI. That's Social Security disability. So there's a couple different ones that Social Security provides. I get my Social Security in the last month of the Wednesday of every month, says Freedom. Okay, so Freedom, so this doesn't apply to you. That's retirement, or SS, just Social Security retirement benefits, not SSI. These programs should go back to 2019 levels. I got mine on the 28th yesterday, says Janet. So Janet, you're collecting retirement, not SSI. Hello, my name is Miss Ruth Garza. Good morning, everybody. In the afternoon, I know that I will get my SSI check today because I always get it before the first April Fools, says Santos. Gian says, great. Let's see here. I do not want a little bit of extra money. I want the government. Yeah, and just to clarify, the SSI payment you're receiving is not extra money. It's just your payment early. There's a shift in the calendar schedule as a result of the way they distribute. So I will keep you guys up to date on that. It's going to happen a couple more times this month as well. So you need to account for that, receiving benefits a day early or a couple days early, and then the following month not receiving a payment. Just it's calendar scheduling for you guys on Social Security. So check out my previous videos because I did some updates on those for you guys and let you know about all of those. Janet says not retired yet. So if it's not retirement and it's not SSI, then you might be collecting disability or some other provisions. There's a couple of different ones for Social Security. Not everybody gets the same ones, and depending on what you get, depends on when they disperse the funds out to you for Social Security. Let's see here. Yes, that is why I watched your videos. It is true. Donald Trump said that he is going to run in 2024. What happened to the White House? I feel like he should. We'll see. There he is running in 2024. We know Biden is running. Trump is running. I think there's a couple of other people that have announced that they're going to be running. We're going to see what takes place, and I will keep you guys up to date on that for sure. I don't know. We will see. We're not too far away. It feels like we're in the middle of 2023 already. Can you believe it's April already of 2023? Absolutely incredible. Just like flies by. Let's see here. Freestyle says I was talking about the increases that they keep talking about. Freestyle, what increases are you talking about? Are you talking about the enhancements to Social Security, the Social Security Expansion Act of 2023 that Bernie Sanders has proposed? Yes. If you're talking about that, they have not made good on that promise yet. They've brought it back. They've reintroduced it. We've heard that Biden is considering it, but at this present time, he still has not approved it, and he says he's got an issue with it. I covered the details in other videos. Basically, the issue that he has with it is that they don't have the tax bracket requirements set right. So Bernie Sanders says that everybody that makes more than $250,000 should be taxed, should have to pay tax on Social Security for that income. And Biden is saying no, it needs to be $400,000. Now the question is, will that make a huge difference in the funding for Social Security? I did a little bit of research. My personal opinion from my research appears no. Neither of them solve the Social Security issue we have. Like, it is not going to help. I couldn't even comprehend how they got that by taxing people 250,000 and up is going to extend it out by an additional 75 years. From what I saw, and I might be wrong because I'm just a guy on YouTube that's looking at this stuff. From what I saw, it did look like it did not even come close to solving the issue that we have with Social Security. I think Joe Manchin has said we might need to just start over with an entirely new system. I don't think that's far off because the shortcomings that we have in Social Security right now are so great. It's absolutely incredible, and it's getting bigger and bigger with every year. That's why they're thinking it's going to go faster as well. Before they were saying 2035, then they started saying 2033. Now they're saying 2032. They're saying that we've got less than 10 years because the projections keep getting worse for Social Security. Let's see here. Any other questions I can help out with? Stacy says she gets hers on the 3rd. Okay, so if you get yours on the 3rd, the Social Security payment, the scheduling doesn't apply to you. I hope SSI and SSDI get done next, right after the debt levels get done. Yeah, we still got to get the debt level. That's huge. Like, I haven't even been reporting on that because they just keep fighting and bickering back and forth. But I'll give you guys an update because they still have not resolved that. Both sides are fighting about where they're going to make budget cuts to get some sort of resolution. I don't think we have ever been this close to an actual default. And if we do, that's going to be even worse for our economy. So, man, they've got to get busy. They've got to start taking care of some things. Let's see. Santos says, I don't understand why the government is so slow when it comes to raising the debt ceiling. Yeah, it's bickering back and forth, and a lot of it is posturing. And I think one of the things is that we know that we're in such a predicament with Social Security and Medicare, and they've got to figure something out, because I think it's like a third, it might even be more of the budget is just those two items. And I think that they know that they've got to figure out something with it. But if somebody proposes something, immediately when that person proposes it, the other side's going to say, oh, you're proposing cuts. And then they're going to blast them out in front of everybody and say, see, we told you Republicans want to make cuts. Or they're going to say, see, Democrats are saying they're not going to cut it. Now they're proposing cuts. And I think that that's the route we got to go. Is I think they don't want to propose the legislation because they know as soon as they do, they're going to get attacked. But I wish that they would just figure out something, because if we default, it's going to be devastating. They need to reform the entire system. And like I said before, I was getting on a little rant. Sometimes I try not to express my opinions and get too riled up for you guys, but I wish that they would do something, that we need to come to some sort of resolution on these things for the good of the American people. Let's see here. Any other questions I can help out with? The problem with the politicians, their hands are dipped into Social Security. Yeah, you know what? There's a lot of shady stuff that goes on. Let's just be real. So, but you know what, you guys? So that is the latest. Biden is prepared to sign the end of the pandemic. When he does, I will let you guys know what that means for each and every particular provision. I covered it in this video, but as more details come out on these, for food benefits, for stimulus checks, for child tax credits, for Social Security, for unemployment, I will let you guys know. I'll keep you guys up to date on every step of the way. And we also have the state, city, and county checks still rolling out. www.reliefroadmap.com if you want access to that. More updates coming out on that as well, you guys. But with that being said, thank you so much for joining me this Friday morning. I hope that you and the family are blessed. I'll give more updates as they come out. Take care. Smash the like button, subscribe to stay up to date, and I'll catch you in the next one. This is Steve.